So it's been a few years now since I started using lucid dreaming to better understand my voice hearing experiences. I think it was actually 2014 maybe when I initially started doing this. And Darren was the voice or the part of me that I was most interested in getting answers from because he's been with me the longest and he's the part that causes the most distress for me. So in those dreams, when I went looking for Darren, I asked him why he was in my life, what he represented, and I guess just why he was there, why my mind had to create him. And he explained that he was all to do with anger, these feelings of anger that I just hadn't been able to express or really process, because anger is a very strange emotion for me. Like, I don't really get angry. I feel it, but I have no outward way of expressing it. I can feel really, really angry, but I can be as totally calm as I am now, and that's generally how I am with emotions. It's pretty hard to gauge what sort of mood I'm in by just looking at me. I keep a lot of that inside, and sometimes I do that consciously, but a lot of the time it's an unconscious thing. I don't really have any control over how my emotions present themselves and how they manifest physically or outwardly, or whatever the right word is. So Darren was the one that I was the most kind of interested in getting the answers from, just because he has been with me the longest and he's the voice or the part of me that causes me the most distress. So it was quite important for me to work with Darren and get a better understanding of that. And it's been a long time since those initial dreams, and I've kind of, over the years used lucid dreaming to connect with these parts of me more, but I haven't really known how to take that any further. So even though I have a good understanding of what they are, it's now taking that information and doing something with it to improve my life, I suppose, and the relationship I have with these parts of me and the possibility of integrating those parts. So I've been spending a lot of time with Darren recently, both in terms of dreams and just out in the waking world, and I'm starting to realise more and more that even though he definitely is very angry, his anger kind of comes from fear, that he's holding on to a lot of fear and a lot of sadness, and the only way he really has of communicating those feelings and expressing those feelings is through anger. It's through aggression, it's through threats, it's through violence. That's how he deals with things, which is the complete opposite of what I would do. But then I've repressed a lot of these things, and I've pushed these feelings away and I've forced them onto Darren. Darren is the part of me that deals with that. And in many ways, it's not really fair of me to do that, because I'm keeping him in this very dark place where he can't grow and I can't grow. And because I've been trying to connect with him more and talk to him and engage with him on a more personal level, I'm starting to feel things that I suppose I have repressed and pushed away. And there has been a great deal of sadness. I mean, depression is second nature to me now, but it doesn't really feel the same as depression. It just feels like sort of pure sadness. I wake up and I have this really horrible feeling and I want to cry, and sometimes I cry, sometimes I don't. It just depends on, I guess, how I'm feeling at that point. But yeah, there's been a lot of sadness, and it's been quite hard to really deal with, and also to kind of place, because I don't know what this sadness is. And as well as that, I do get anxiety a lot, but there has been much deeper feelings of panic and fear as well, which is really, really horrible. Like, I can deal with sadness pretty well, but fear and anxiety are much harder to work with and to distract myself from or make myself feel better about. And I still don't really understand what this sadness is or what this fear is, and I don't think Darren really understands it either. But if I've never had the ability to really process emotions and particularly hard emotions as well, Darren's become this sort of vessel for all of those feelings, and I guess neither of us really fully understand why. So with dreams that I've been having, some of them have been lucid dreams, and they haven't been like massive, life-changing lucid dreams. I'm not going to pretend that I've had tons of these mind-blowing lucid dreams about him. You know, I have in the past, but these days it tends to be more, I go looking for him, and sometimes he talks, sometimes he doesn't. One thing that I have noticed though is the dream goes very grayscale. Everything goes black and white when he's around, and there's usually a lot of fog, and it tends to be a lot of fog surrounding him, and dream characters freak out and they don't want to be around him. They kind of just run away. So he has this very scary presence, which sometimes I struggle to be around sometimes, because it just fills me with this horrible feeling. And yeah, I am scared of Darren. I am, whether it's in a dream or whether it's out here, and whether he's talking to me out here in the waking world, I still feel a lot of anxiety about him being around, because he's not as threatening as he used to be. He's not as direct in his aggression, but it's still there, and I know that he still has moments where he really doesn't like me, he doesn't like the rest of the guys, and I do worry about the possibility of him taking control and doing something really, really stupid. I mean, I very much doubt that will happen, but it's obviously a concern, and I've got to think about that, so I'm trying not to push things too hard at the moment. But I feel like I've been wrong about Darren. Like, I've always viewed him as... Well, I guess when it was just Scott and Darren, it was very much the angel and the devil on the shoulder type thing, with Scott being the angel and Darren being the devil, and I'd always viewed him kind of like that, as being not a person, as someone that I didn't have to care about or show any kind of respect or affection towards. Scott hates him, Scott hated him and hates him because of how Darren was towards me. So it's just very complicated, really. But yeah, I feel bad now because I realise that Darren is essentially just a scared little boy, and I'm essentially a scared little boy who, is dealing with all these feelings, and for him, he sees the world as this very threatening, very dangerous place, and he has to be aggressive, and he sees being aggressive as a form of protection, that he's trying to help me somehow. And I have noticed, when I think back to the dreams that I had in 2014, the lucid dreams I had when I initially went searching for him and asked him outright what he represented, in a lot of those dreams he was quite on edge and panicky and trying to remove me from other dream characters. He was trying to get me away and tell me that people were bad and that we shouldn't trust them. And I guess when I look back on it now, I realise there was a lot of fear there. So yeah, as much as Darren I still think is the embodiment of my anger, that is very much what he represents, I think there's definitely far more to him than that, and I should maybe start treating him better and start treating him as a person and as having every right to his feelings as the rest of the parts, the rest of the voices, alters, they've all got their reasons for how they are and they're all valid, and we've got to figure out how to include Darren into our little group and make him feel safe. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. It's hard work and it's tiring and it's just taking a lot out of me, but it's something that I have to do, and I guess I'm glad that I'm doing this and that I'm seeing him more as a person than something evil. So that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about today. I appreciate people sticking around and watching these videos. It's been difficult making the decision to vlog about this, but I suppose I kind of want you guys to be along on this journey as well. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like to support me on Patreon, there is a link in the description, so feel free to check that out and see what is available. There is also a discount code for 20% off on Vivid Dream products, and that will also be down in the description below. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Max, aka the Rara Rabbit. I'll see you in the next video.